good afternoon. Today with our honorable guest, Mr. Dr. Piotr Kardasz. We are very pleased and happy that you are here with us in our cycle, What Nature Has for Us. These meetings are very popular, and we are grateful that you have joined in such great numbers. We have guests not only from Poland, but also from other countries, and we are very happy that you are willing to use this knowledge from our guests. We know that we have great feedback from you that this is very popular and useful. Our guest today is the honorary doctorate holder, Mr. Piotr Kardasz, who is an expert and in nature. I have never met a person who is such an expert in natural issues. His huge knowledge, his huge heart towards nature, but also towards people with whom he cooperates on an everyday basis, for which I'm extremely grateful. And Mr. Kardasz is the president of the scientific board of Dual Life, and today he will again talk to us about these subjects in our cycle. And we will talk about the My Blood new amazing product that you will find out more about soon. Right now, I'm giving floor to the doctor. I'm encouraging you to take notes, to take as much as possible from this meeting. And I also wanted to add that at the very end, we have a very important piece of information for you. So please stay with us until the very end. And now the floor is yours and the remote control is yours, Mr. Kardasz. Thank you very much for such a nice introduction and the compliments. I always feel a bit embarrassed, but the truth is that my work is my passion. And I wish that everybody could have this kind of work. So if your work has meaning for you, then it is very satisfying for you. And the important aspect of today's discussion is the fluid of life, the blood that is in our organism, in our body, and it doesn't come from nowhere. It has to be produced from the provided micro elements, macro elements that are provided to our body, and what is the necessary intake that we should take. It depends on the age, on the diet, and if our diet is not right, then the shortages in some components will result in bigger need for supplementing these elements. Also, the health condition, which all it comes from food quality. Also, the health condition when we go do the laboratory tests, which is good to do them, to use the medical advantages, and then after you perform tests, then everything seems to be okay, but this may be the pre-illness condition, because a weakening of your deterioration of your organism means that some of our organs don't work in an optimum way. For example, it depends on your physical activity. If you work physically, you will feel fatigue more quickly. For example, your arms, your hands will be aching. And it also reflects the condition of your organism, of your body. And also the condition, the quality of our food is a different story. I will talk about it later. But definitely the physical activity is very important to our well-being, and it depends on the need of the general energy. But then to distribute it along our body, we need the liquid of life, the connective tissue that is in our body is also a kind. It depends with blood that is liquid tissue in our body. It's it delivers all the elements to all the components like cartilage and our teeth. If we don't use our teeth properly to grind the food, then we will not be able to use the advantages of the food that we supply. And then it is also the anaerobic bacteria that will start the decay process. And this is our own fault that we haven't chewed, processed the food from the start properly. And of course, we know that depends our need on the provision of dietary supplements, and depends on the geographical area where we live. We have different needs depending on how hot the environment is, whether we need to heat up our organism or not. I also wanted to say that if we are talking about vitamins, I will specify first list the fat-soluble vitamins. They are important for us. You can see the circle here where you can see what specific products serve best and for what vital functions they are needed. We, of course, know that vitamin B is fat soluble. It is present in, occurs in several products, and we can here see mushroom. It's something new because we have heard for a long time that mushroom didn't have any valuable elements. Right now, we know that the mycelium is very important for the life on Earth, that it distributes the communication between the sun rays and the distribution of the elements in the soil of the Earth. Then we can see vitamin A. We can see artichoke or other fruit. Then the vitamin K, for example, in asparagus, in individual vegetable plants, and vitamin A was always associated with carotene, with carrot. Carotene is abundant in carrot, but also in other fruits and vegetables. Let's start from B1, vitamin B1. This vitamin, it's called thiamine. It's present in various plant products, including rye bread. This vitamin is responsible for for important factors in our life. As we can see, it affects our brain and our heart, as we see in the pictures here. Riboflavin is included in cheese, in eggs, in fish. B3. This is niacin and is responsible for the energy distribution, but also for the encoding of the genetical code and our brain. B5, vitamin B5 is the pantothenic acid, and we start from avocado, and it affects the work of our heart. And this shield that we see here symbolizes the immunity and the nervous system. B6, this vitamin, pyridoxine, is responsible for more than 200 processes in our body. In here, a simple raw material is rice, bananas, fish. It affects the correct operation of our vascular system, on the hormones, and as we see, in the picture. B7 biotin, also marked with letter H. We can see strawberries, definitely not the ones that are grown on the glass, but also wild strawberries, for example. B9, this is the folic acid, and it is important for the development of our body, especially it is vital for pregnant women. And it is also called methylcobalamin, and it is affecting our nervous system and the genetic code. And
informację, że to jest klucz dla naszego zdrowia, bo odpowiada za praktycznie metabolizm, czyli na przemianę materii i energii. Surowce, w których Państwo je znajdują.
The food that you can see and the area where it works, you can see here in the icons on the left. It impacts our food, our teeth, and I haven't mentioned before that it was quite evident that D vitamin impacts regeneration of our organisms and the skeleton. First of all, our joints. Also, our immunity is being impacted. Then A vitamin, called vitamin of youth. It's necessary for the development and regeneration immunity of the organism. Let's move to next slide, where you can see that some mineral substances are indispensable for us. Let's start with microelements. First, iodine. You can see that we've got them not only in fish, but also in mushroom. Moreover, we also have manganese, selenium, zinc, copper, and iron. If we talk about manganese, then it's obvious that we found it in cereals. When we talk, magnesium we can find in cereal, and manganese we can find in garlic. Then selenium can be found in pistachios and cheese. Zinc can be found in nuts, but also in pluck, if they were from well-fed animal, fed with a good feed. And then copper in nuts or seafood. Other elements, when we are talking about iron, it will be spinach and egg. What I mean here is the free-range hens and all the reproductive cells, because egg is a reproductive cell, contains all the components, not only in adequate proportion ratio, but let's not eat too many eggs, not hard-boiled, but soft or possibly fried eggs. What else? What else can we see here? First of all, microelements and macroelements, potassium, sodium. You can see that the potassium we can find in apricots, sodium in milk or in cereals, phosphorus in pumpkins, calcium can be found in leguminous or dairy products, and then chlorine also in fish or eggs. So now we move to the end of listing the most important microelements, because from microelements we can also list other ones like boron or molybdenum. It's an activator of many enzymes. I would like to remind you that it is a protein formation, but it has to be activated depending on the presence of one of vitamins. depending, but I don't have time to show you the dependency on vitamins and enzymes. We don't have time for it, but on the liver, produces more than 580 enzymes. So we, for example, purification cycle or a stimulation of immunity system indirectly impacts the level of dopamine or serotonin. So micro and micro elements and vitamins are necessary for these processes. But today we are supposed to focus on the vital fluid. The deficiencies that we have, since we are going to talk about the vital fluid, I would like to tell you that in fact, people suggesting by other volume started plant cultivation. So they wanted to have more food to guarantee the survivor. After some time, it appeared that we started selecting plants or picking bigger ones, which in fact they grew naturally because some other factors were present in environment. We can say that it mutated in this direction. I would like to give you an example that we have the contest for the biggest pumpkin, and last year there was a pumpkin was the winner which weighed about more than 200 kilograms. The nitrogen will not produce anything like that. So the winner was asked how he do it, and then it appeared that he injected some substances. So no one did it before. So then if there was a big pumpkin in the field, then we tried to repeat it. And then it appeared that it grew on the other field. So there was a deficiency of micro and macro elements and the surplus of sugar, which is harmful to us. That's one thing. And the other thing, the intense plant cultivation and animal breeding, which is very intense, is harmful to us. Not without any details. The surplus, the regular ones are fertilizers. We've got the phosphorus there and nitrogen, which, if we've got over-fertilization, then we've got nitrites coming from nitrogen, which is harmful to our organism, which can contribute to cancer development. So when we start with over-fertilization, the pollution is grown. When the animal eats such plants, and then we use the meat of this animal, then we are fed by these harmful components. So if we want to live healthy, we should choose the best possible product, ecological ones, because in wilderness we don't have too many plants. We can be happy that wanting to complete what we need is that then we've got this plants growing in wilderness. For example, in exotic countries, there is this saying that the plants from our nearest proximity are the best for us. Yes, when we talk about phytoelements, it's good, but then in our country we didn't have so much sunlight like in other countries. So now we've got the climate gets warmer. It's fine, but we've got the deficiencies of water, and then the other plant, we've got the overheated or overcooled plants. So in fact, when in other regions we've got so much sunshine, then we've got accumulation of antioxidants. I will have to talk about antioxidants today because the My Blood supplement contains antioxidants, which stabilizes the key factors for our health. I would like to tell you that some plants, when they are colorful, it's not only about flowers, but we've got the yellow leaf linden or red leaf linden. We can't see them in Poland, but we've got these types. Similar with oak. I will not mention all the factors and all the plants. I would like to tell you that these are antioxidants are flavonoids or anthocyanins. And depending on the number of bonds, they can give color in kinds of flavonoids that will not be visible to us, but it's still, these were still antioxidants, or yellow. And the more bonds we have, the more intense they are. So for us, they do the same what they have to get rid of insects or micas.
That try to use the plants or leaves as their food or some other bacteria. Since the plants are our is the food and they are good for health, why wouldn't they be good for us? So it means that using food with the good components like antioxidants, but is key relevance. But as I mentioned, vitamins and elements, minerals before, here you can see the content of calcium and magnesium as it dropped along the years, along decades. If we did perform these tests today, it would be even worse. It's not a comforting message that this content of the valuable components dropped so heavily in the USA. It happens all around the world where we don't have anything provided. It means that there were no tests performed. Spinach, for example, is a good carrier of vitamin C, not as much as we thought before, but it is very valuable and very advantageous for us. And from 1999, the drop of vitamin C in spinach was as much as 53%, and in broccoli it was 63%. It means that we have the vegetables available from our markets, but the value, the composition is absolutely not sufficient. What can we do? We, of course, need to find the best possible plant products of plant origin, but it's also with regard to meat. We should find out what were the conditions in which the meat was developed. And on top of that, we need to add supplementation. We need to find out what is the deficiency that is occurring in our body. And this supplementation that we add to replenish these elements should be composed of the most valuable elements and components. It is based on the on the research and tests that help us to create the best possible supplementation. As we said before, DuoLife My Blood is the crucial component for our well-being. It from the 1970s, in Japan, the Japanese scientists tried to create artificial blood. After several years, they said next year we should have it. Then another 10 years passed, and it all turned into a failure. So right now we know it's impossible. And all around the world, globally, every 15 seconds, somebody needs new blood to be added to their organism, to simply saying, of course, there are accidents, but there are also deficiencies that result from our everyday life that cause us be in the position when we are in need for new blood. And so we succeeded to compose a product that is possibly best for our blood composition. This is they contain the extracts, juices and extracts from the beetroot, blackcurrant, red grape, and extracts from acerola and spinach. We need to differentiate between the juice and the extract. The juice, we don't mean the kind of juice that we make at home as a preserve, adding sugar and so on. It means that these are the natural juices, natural components that decide about the value, the actual value. Of course, there is some natural carbohydrates present, and also phenolic groups that have huge strength, power of antioxidation. And if we have too much active oxygen in our body, it can cause chronic inflammation. And at this point, our organism can start to behave as if we were suffering from a genetic disease. By destroying the cell wall, we can destroying a cell wall can result in a development of cancer. As we can see the list of vitamins here, the first vitamins are fat soluble, but then the whole B complex plus the microelements, the iron that is the basis for erythrocytes, and zinc that affects thymus, and copper as the enzymatic activator, manganese and selenium, very important as the activators for the important processes. And the iodium that is important for thyroid, and the production of supplementation of selenium and iodium. It will regulate our thyroid, which in turn regulate our hormones. What causes Duolife My Blood exceptional? It is exceptional because it contains the complex of the vitamins, both the fat-soluble ones and those that don't need fat. And the whole B group, B complex that are important for the synthesis, and the iron, zinc, as I mentioned before, iodine, and selenium to proper operation of our central nervous system. If we are talking about blood, we have to remember that in the respiration process, we aspire oxygen. This is the gas exchange. The actual respiration is in the mitochondria that actually replace ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and so the actual respiration is at the level of cell, where the oxygen is replaced with at the moment when erythrocytes are stuck with oxygen, which is then released at the relevant point in our body. And stem cells support the basic activators: white blood cells, erythrocytes, and the platelets, and they are responsible for the distribution of all the nutrients around our body, taking away the metabolites, and they are strengthening the environment with the stem cells, which is the bone marrow, because this is the place where the erythrocytes are generated, are created, as other cells in our organism. And without this system, the whole group of these elements, it's not possible. It wouldn't be all possible. So as we said that and even a small amount of carbohydrates, they are needed for the feeding of our bacteria and to support the immunity processes, and also the intestinal mucus that helps us with the general management of these elements, and the fiber is very important. We, of course, with regard to the taste of it and flavor, of course, most of us are very happy to have some red grapes, although beetroot may be a bit different, but then we have also blackcurrant. And I would say that this product is not bad in taste. Somebody could say they can feel some tartiness in it, but we have avoided absolutely to use any sweeteners to it. No sweeteners that are mentioned here, as we see, are not allowed into that product. Any sweetness that you feel comes from the natural features of the fruit. There are no excipients. You have to find out why this is so valuable. Any preservation for there are no chemical or thermal preservation, no GMO. It is pharmaceutical glass, and it is used from clean extracts.
IHHPM, which is based on excluding antagonisms and their processing. However, it's all subject to synergy, so it's been processed in such a way that the ratio on standardized extracts are compliant with all possible scientific research to activate this genius fluid to its activities. So now we've reached the end. I could talk long about it. However, I also have to remember about time limits. So therefore, I would like to invite Paulina, who has interesting information for you to pass. I appreciate that you keep up the time limits, and dear ladies and gentlemen, you knew the demand, the value, the unique value of my blood, which will take care of efficiency and good functioning of your organism. But it's not the only reason. The other reasons are that we can also work for the good of the Krewniacy Foundation. So, in fact, blood is needed every 15 seconds. So it's extraordinary that you can join this action. I can tell you that what I've observed is that you need to give time for natural supplementation. Time is a key factor here, because our organism needs patience, time, understanding. So if we make this decision to use natural solutions, then the body will be grateful and we will have advantages from it, but it needs time. Dear doctor, at the end, I would like to ask you, what is the reason for the fact that the body needs at least 6 weeks or maybe even more to regenerate? Yeah, I was listening to what you were saying, and you will say something that I wanted to say. So in fact, so you are really involved in the supplementation subject for many years. Supplementation is not the prompt result, but it's a consistent purification. We want to stabilize blood, and then it will play a different role, even producing components which were not there. So it is, first of all, it's responsible for the immunity of the organism, but also all the components distributed by blood from digestive system and the entire metabolic structure. So I mean the efficiency of our nervous system, hormonal system, I mentioned iodine or selenium. That we all have it in this product and in our organism if the erythrocytes are produced and then they circulate throughout the body. Then we have to mention lymph. It doesn't have erythrocyte, but it distributes the components taken from blood to all cells in our body. So the purification process, it has been checked that it needs at least 16 weeks, which will be visible to see the results. And depending on our condition, if we are just pre-disease and then there is some unbalance, then it means the lack of the nutritional properties at the level of 30%. If it goes below 30%, the worst situation will be, especially when a woman is pregnant, because then the child takes all the nutritional components and the woman is left with almost nothing. So what's important is that it is neutral product needed in all the physiological conditions. So we don't have to think whether we need to eat beetroot. So if a man is ill, should he eat beetroot or acerola? We don't have to choose. It's an ideal composition. It's a gift from the nature, and a combination of all the components which are very valuable to our life and health. So if we are to be disciplined, we also have to remember that to be also altruistic. We have blood. So if you are young and healthy, please, let's make an effort to involve and also donate blood. The highest value of the gift is if we don't say what the value is. So I would like to encourage you to allow donating. And with speaking about blood donation, I would like to finish and remind you that if you supplement, you will have the optimal parameters of your life. So let's smile and have joy in your life. If you are smiling, then you send the signal that it's okay. So if someone is sad, then that can think that life is beautiful, world is beautiful. So let's smile. I'm greeting you, and let's keep in contact. Let's meet at the other time. I would like to thank our today's guest for his knowledge, to you for your presence. Please pass the information further on, and coming back to our special offer, you would like to get to know more how to use this offer. Please contact the person who recommended today's meeting to you, and who has information concerning health, healthy lifestyle, and the joy on daily basis. That's what I would like to wish you, and thank you very much one more time for your being here today with us.